Welcome to the Weather Guru podcast for Tuesday, September 17th, 2023. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest weather news, weather warnings, and tropical weather in the lower 48 United States. I appreciate everyone's support. Right now, we're talking about the watches and warnings here, courtesy of Radarscope. We have two tornado warnings, one in Montana and one in Canada. The one in Montana is for Daniels and Roosevelt counties here. And as you can see, there is a tornado vortex signature there, a very defined hook echo here. The storm is moving from south to north here at a very fast clip here, at about northwest at 13 knots here, and there is hail on the core of the mesovortice here of about 1.5 to 2 inches of hail here. We can see that this is moving west-northwest at 12 knots, so towns like Scobey and Flaxville could be affected by this, as a potential tornado is on the ground here. So once again, a tornado for Daniels and Roosevelt counties here. As the system moves northwest at 12 knots, hail is indicated above an inch and a half. So once again, if you're in southeast Daniels County in northeastern Montana and north central Roosevelt County in northeastern Montana to 6:15 Mountain Daylight Time, please be sure to take cover if you're located near Bredette, Montana, or about 24 miles southeast of Scobey, Montana. This is moving very fast at 25 miles an hour northwest here. Radar indicated rotation, so you want to get to the lowest level of your house, your basement, away from windows or doors, into the interior rooms there, as this tornado here on the ground is going to be near Bredette around 5:45 Mountain Daylight Time. So if you're in the town of Bredette, Scobey, those towns in southeastern Daniels County and north central Roosevelt County, you want to get to the lowest level of your room here, as this tornado confirmed here on the ground here with this hook echo. You can see it right here. Put it in motion here, moving northwest at 25 miles an hour here, as it continues up toward the town of Scobey and Flaxville here in north central Montana here. This is way up here. We do have a tornado on the ground here, as you can see here. I'll scan it out for you here, and you can see it heading almost on the border with Canada here, Saskatchewan Plains here. Now we also have a tornado warning in Canada. This expires in 1 hour and 13 minutes here. This is going to be for Whitefish Bay, Lookout, Canada. This is over in northern Alberta provinces, Paris, just above the Minnesota line there. So if you're in that area, you do have a tornado warning in the environment in Canada there as well. So 90 kilometer an hour wind gusts, and a tornado is on there. So Sunlight Lake in those areas there in northern Alberta province, above the Trans-Canada Highway there in Whitefish Bay, there is a tornado warning and tornado on the ground and in progress there in Canada. But for us in the continental United States, Montana is where the severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning is in effect. The town of Ritchie there, you can see it denoted in purple here, this hail core. And this is once again for Montana, severe thunderstorm warning, 60 mile an hour wind gusts and 1 inch hail. So damage to vehicles expected. Please move your vehicles inside and indoors here if you're in the Montana area, in Ritchie, Montana, Poplar, Brockton, Montana, and some of these counties here in northeastern Montana, that's east of Glasgow toward the Canadian border. Now, heading back down further south here, all of these appear to be along the Front Range and the High Plains here. New Mexico, there's a severe thunderstorm warning. Down into the north of Pagosa Springs and the area down here in New Mexico, there is a Arriba County, same thing, hail, 1 inch hail and 60 mile an hour winds north of Albuquerque here. These storms are moving to northeast at about 33 knots, so very fast as they head into southern Colorado and past the Raton Pass there. They'll start to die down, but right now the higher elevations, they're producing hailstorms there. Same thing with Colorado and some of the counties here, Cheyenne County, Kit Carson, Yuma County, some of these counties out in eastern Colorado here, along the Front Range, the High Plains here, from Burlington, Colorado, down to Cheyenne Wells. All of these cells here are warned here to produce 1 inch to 2 inch hail and gusty winds up to 65 miles an hour here. This whole line, this whole complex here, QLCS complex, they like to call here, quasi-linear, convective linear system here, is moving right along this front here, from Lamar, Colorado, up to Burlington, Colorado, and eastern Colorado. So if you're coming along 70 there, heading into Denver and the eastern High Plains there, be very careful as these storms are on 270 there, and they're in 76 here, just some brief showers from Fort Morgan up to Sterling there. But down south, La Junta, Johnson, Garden City, Kansas. Even these storms will be racing towards you in the next hour, 2 hours here. Scott City, Kansas. All those storms will be racing toward you in I-70 corridor. Once again in Montana. So Montana, Colorado, New Mexico along the Front Range. This is where we're seeing a bunch of the storms here. Eastern High Plains and the Front Range. We're seeing a bunch of storms here. Now we do have some severe storm warnings in Texas and Oklahoma. These storms are throwing down heavy rain here. This is in the Panhandle of Oklahoma towards Guyman, Oklahoma. All these are hail warnings and 70-mile-an-hour winds, straight line winds here. And Guyman, Oklahoma, heading toward Guyman, and also Amarillo, I-27, heading towards Canyon, Hereford, Texas, Lubbock, Clovis, New Mexico. All these storms here are producing hail and strong straight line winds. But in the meantime, we still have those flash flood warnings out east for North Carolina. The eastern beaches there, Corolla Beach, and those beaches up there toward Elizabeth City and Wedgewood Lakes and Mycock. Head up US 17 back toward the Chesapeake Tidewater Bay, Norfolk, Virginia Beach. Those areas are going to get a lot of showers. Chesapeake, you're going to be getting in some of this action here as what's left of that tropical rainstorm continues to feed these bands off the Atlantic here like that, producing some training rains there in the Tidewater region and in the North Carolina region. So Camden, Currituck counties, flash flood damages are being observed there and reported here in North Carolina. Not flash flood emergencies, but flash flood warnings in Durham, Franklin, Orange, and Wake counties, all the way extending back into 540 loop, 40 loop here, Raleigh, Durham, 85 coming up through Butler and Stem and Henderson, and I'm back up to the Virginia, up to South Hill here in Norlina County, 85 coming up into Virginia, 95 from Rocky Mountain, Wilson, Dunn, Red Oak, Dorchester, Lewisburg, those exits, and then heading up into Wake Forest, Durham, Chapel Hill, and the rain continues to strain along the Piedmont of North Carolina here, up into the Piedmont and up into the northern Appalachians of North Carolina here, the Black Mountains of Mount Airy, Pilot Mountain, Winston-Salem, Madison, Yadkinville, North Carolina, and then into southwestern Virginia here. We have rain coming up along I-81 there between Galax and the extreme southwestern portions of Virginia. So that's rain is going to continue in the Shenandoah Valley as well, but not as heavy as the rain back in toward the Raleigh, Durham, Greensboro, Piedmont Triad region of North Carolina there. So that's what we have going on for all of the watches and warnings. Taking a look at the national picture, you can see that that's all we have going on is those complex of storms here in the Front Range and High Plains here, extending from Texas to Oklahoma Panhandle through Kansas and eastern Colorado. And then we have that tornado warning in Montana to recap, and a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings up there, mostly hail and straight line winds as damages here. And then we also have over here this what's left of the tropical rainstorm, producing some showers in the Piedmont of North Carolina, extending into later on tonight into the Appalachians, Blue Ridge Mountains, and high mountains of Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. So that's what we have going on. Elsewhere, it's clear around the rest of the country here, and these are progressing eastward here. Thank you for joining me on the Weather Guru podcast. Be sure to subscribe. Talk to you on the next episode.